Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Teresa, and today I'm going to be going over my 2023 reading goals. Hey guys, how's it going? I have a ranger with me. Range, and lift your head up so people can see you. There's an ear. Anyways, he might be clicky clacking throughout this video. So as I said, this is my goals video. I have a few goals this year. Some of them are the same as last year. These are all of like my reading related goals. I'll have channel goals and like life goals and stuff like that probably in a separate video. But this is just like book reading, that sort of thing related. So my first goal, and none of these aren't like in order of like importance, they're all just like important. I have 10. So again, no order of anything. It's just 10 goals. So my first goal is I want to read, or I guess how I should phrase it is I want to continue 12 series. Okay, so I am going to be trying to do Compile this year. That is G from Book Roast. It's her spreadsheet. There's a couple different spreadsheets I'm going to try out this year, see kind of who I like, what I like doing. I know Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy and Allie from Hardback Hoarder have done some spreadsheets, so I want to play around with some things. I love spreadsheets, but I like don't know how to use Excel or anything, so I'm glad to like be using other people's stuff. On the Compile, however you pronounce it, thing, there's a series tracker. You can put in all the series that you have read or you have ongoing or DNF, whatever. So I put in every single series, and this includes duologies, and this also includes like series that I've read when I was a kid that like I never finished. So there's like at least 3 on there. And this does not include series that I have completed. This does not include series that I DNF. This is like starting in 2023. This is the amount of series that I have that I am a part of, like I have started and not finished. And again, like I said, some are duologies, some are, you know, trilogies, some are like 20 plus book series. And so the number that I have going, 98. I have 98 series that I am at some point in my life have started and not finished. So there's that. Actually, no, I want to say 97 because I did put Akatar on here, but to be 100% honest with y'all, I really don't think I'm ever gonna read Akatar. So like, sorry, Sarah J. Maas peoples. I have no desire. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses and just like, I wasn't really that big of a fan. And from what I have heard about the series going on, it's just not something that I will enjoy. But I do have Throne of Glass on here because I did read like the first couple books in that and I really like it. So let's rephrase, I have 97. Yay, knocked down 1. 97, you guys, series that are ongoing. So with that said, my goal is to continue into 12 of them. And what I mean by this is not necessarily finishing 12 series. Like, I don't care if the 12 books I read this month or this year don't finish out the series. I don't care if, you know, I still have 97 series at the end of the year. I just want to make a dent in some of them. So basically what this means is I'm gonna be reading a book, and I made it like 12 because that's like the equivalent of 1 a month. I don't have to read 1 a month. Like, that's not my thing. Like, I was gonna put like read 1 a month, but I was like, no, that's too much pressure on myself. So if I just say 12, that means sometime throughout the year I have to read the equivalent of 1 a month. And what this means too is this does not count if I'm starting a new series. It doesn't count towards this. So this has to continue a series. And 2 books in the same series do not count. So if I read book 2 and 3 in the series, only book 2 will count towards this because I want to be knocking out multiple series. Does that make sense? So it's not like 12 books, because I could read 1 series that has 12 books in it and be like, yay, but that's not what I want to do. I want to knock out 12 series or continue in 12 series. So each book has to be from a different series. It can be the last book in the series, it can be the second book in the series, it can be whatever, it doesn't matter. I just have to continue 12 series. Hopefully that makes sense. Next, I want to read 1 book from every major genre. I have had this goal for the past few years, and I don't think that I have completed it yet. I've come very close. And I say major genre because, you know, there's like a million bazillion subgenres out there. But the major genres, I'm talking fiction, like just literary fiction, whatever, historical fiction, sci-fi, romance, poetry, fantasy, but just, you know, like that, like your very basic, classic, you know, very basic things. I want to read one book from every major genre this year at some point throughout the year. I don't know if it's going to work because there are a few genres that I really just don't like to read. Like, I don't like romance. I'm not a big fan of classics. I don't like poetry, you know, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not reading really short little books to like complete this, but we'll see. Next goal is I want to read at least 24 books off of my physical TBR. So those of you who've been around my channel for a little bit, you know that I read a lot of audiobooks. So those of you who, I guess I should phrase it this way, those of you who are new here, I have a cognitive disorder that makes it very difficult for me to read physically. So a lot of the books that I read, almost like I would say 97% of the books I read are audiobooks. Now, I have a lot of physical books, as you can see behind me. These are all unread. These 3 shelves are all unread books. That's a lot. And yeah, so sometimes I will read, like get an audiobook for a book that I physically own and listen to it on audiobook. Like that'll count. Like I don't have to read it physically. I just want to pare down my TBR because I have over 300 unread books on my TBR, and that does not include nonfiction. That is just fiction books that I have on my physical TBR that I've not read. I have over 300, so that's a lot. And I would like to kind of like, you know, get whittling away at that. So my goal is to read 24, which, you know, again, equals about 2 a month. I think I can do that even if I'm reading audiobooks that I might not physically read the book. But if I can have like an audiobook, say, let me just pick a random one that I have here. We got Tyrannosaur Canyon by Douglas Preston. Like say that I got an audiobook, I'll listen to the audiobook. Even if I don't read along physically, I just listen to the audiobook, I will still count that as reading a book off my physical shelf because I physically own it and I read it. So does that make sense? I want to read at least 24, like that's a minimum. So I was like, I could put like a big number because I have, like I said, over 300. But I don't want to put that on myself because I want to set myself up for success. It's a big thing I'm working on in 2023 is I want to set myself up for success. I don't want to set myself up for failure. If I put too big of lofty goals and if I don't make them, it's just going to make me depressed. I already have issues. We don't need to add any more. So these are like very obtainable goals for me. My next goal is to read 100 books in 2023. That has like been my goal since 2018, I think is my Goodreads goal. Every year I set my goal as 100 books, and some years that is attainable, like I've surpassed that, and some years I have, like one year I only read like 50 something, but I was very, very ill. So it's an obtainable goal for sure. I did do it last year. I read 101 books last year. In 2022, it came in like at the very last minute because I read like 4 or 5 picture books on the 31st to like get that number. But I did it. I read 100 books. So yeah, that's my other goal is I want to read at least 100 books this year. And that's like any kind of book. Picture books count, you know, nonfiction books count, whatever. So my next goal that I have for 2023 is I would like to read more biblical fiction. I love biblical fiction, especially when you're talking like ancient Israel or like a time like around the like ancient Egypt, that time period, or ancient Rome, like around the time of Jesus. That time period, like gladiators and stuff, like I love that time period just in general. And so I really, really enjoy reading biblical fiction about that time period. I'm not the biggest fan of like historical fiction in general, like World War II and that kind of thing. But if we're talking like ancient civilizations, that I'm super interested in. And I really want to read more Christian fiction. So that's kind of part of it. But I figure biblical fiction, I really enjoy it a lot, and I really haven't read much of it over the past few years, so I really want to get back into that. So I do have at least one series that I started that I can continue, which takes place around the time of like Jesus and like the Roman Empire and all that kind of stuff. So I need to continue that. I think the first book is like AD something, or First Light is the name of the book. It's AD Chronicles, I think is what it's called. Actually, I can look that up really fast. Yeah, 80 Chronicles by Brody Thorne and Brock Thorne. I read the first book probably when I was in high school. Really loved it, never continued it. So that will actually help me to mark off 2 of my goals if I can read that. But yeah, just in general, biblical fiction, really want to prioritize this year. Okay, so I have 5 goals left that I need to talk about. Next one is I would like to do 5 buddy reads this year. I have only ever done 1 buddy read, like officially done 1 buddy read, and I was behind. So I would like to I really want to get more into the community. I've made some good friends here, but I really want to grow my friendships, like grow my relationships with you guys. And so I would really like to do buddy reads. I know that Katie from Paperback and Ponytails, I always say her name backwards, High Ranger, has mentioned that there's a book that we both own that she mentioned we could do a buddy read on. So that would be really fun. I'd really like to do that, but I want to do 5. And I was hoping like 5 different people, but I would be okay if I like buddy read 5 books with the same person. Like that's totally fine too. I just want to do 5 buddy reads. I've always thought they'd be so much fun to do. And it's a good way to discuss your books and everything. And yeah, so that's just gonna be a goal of mine. So if you guys are interested in doing a buddy read, I read mainly thrillers. I do read a lot of like Christian horror, Christian thriller, suspense. So if that is something that you're interested in too, I read regular thrillers. I read fantasy. Hello, you're a good boy. I love you. Yeah, reading more biblical fiction this year. So if any of those genres sound interesting to you, let's buddy read. So another goal that I have that I've had for the past few years and never completed it. Hi, can I help you? Can I help you? Thank you very much for the kisses. It's very nice. Anyways, another goal that I've had is I really want to start annotating my books. As I mentioned, I have a cognitive disorder that makes it hard for me to comprehend. Basically, when I'm physically reading something, for whatever reason, my brain is just like, and it like turns off and it's like, yeah, you don't remember anything you just read, or you can't comprehend anything you just read. I have found that listening to things really, when I listen to an audiobook or when I listen to something, I can comprehend it super easily. And it is hard because reading comprehension used to be like the thing that I was super advanced at. Before I got sick, I was very advanced in critical reading. That was like the thing that I loved it. I was really good at it. And it's hard for me to accept the fact that like that's not something I can do anymore. So I want to try and I guess retrain my brain. There's no science behind this. This is just me trying to figure out what works for me. But I really want to annotate because I feel like if I'm able to sit down and read and like really pick through and analyze the book, that it might help me be able to heal my brain and start retaining things easier. I have no idea. Like I said, this is not science. This is just me trying something out. So whether or not that's going to work or not, I have no idea, but I'm going to try it. And I've been really wanting to sit and annotate, but a lot of the times when I'm reading, I'm like listening to audiobooks and doing other things. I don't have time a lot to just sit and read a physical book. So I'm gonna have to like make time in my day to sit down and really like dive in. And another thing too that makes annotating difficult for me, I think, with the idea of it difficult, is when I get into a book, I just want to read it. I just want to go through it and I'm just like, phew, I'm a very fast reader. And so the thought of like taking time to pause and write down my thoughts and like highlight and all that, it's just like, it's taking time out of the story. And I love to be just immersed in the story. So I don't know if annotating is for me, but I'm going to try it and see what I think. Kind of going along with annotating and the whole understanding things, I really want to review at least 1 book a month. So part of having the channel, I really want to do book reviews. Like that's something that I really want to do. I enjoy watching other people's book reviews. And as a booktuber, I feel like that's kind of like a staple that you should be able to do is review books. I mean, people are going to come to you for recommendations. And so like, I want to be able to give them proper recommendations and review the books that I'm reading. Plus, you know, if you might be interested in a certain book that I'm reading and you want to know my thoughts on it or whatever, like the review would be a way for you to know this. And so I really want to work on it at least 1 a month. If I can keep up with that schedule, I'll be very happy. And I'm hoping, I want this channel to grow. I know that since I started it, I've had a lot of downfalls, a lot of like disappearing for a while. I've had physical health problems, mental health problems, and unfortunately a lot of loss in my family over the past 3 years since I started my channel. So it's just been crazy, but I'm really hoping, I mean, who knows, you know, God only knows what the future holds for me, but my hope is that this year I can really dive into this channel and grow it. And so doing reviews once a month, I mean, a minimum, obviously I'd like to do more, but if I can at least do 1 review a month, then I feel like I am adding value to the community. And I don't know, I just really hope that that's something that I can do. So that is a goal of mine this year. We're down to the last 2 goals. The second to last goal that I have is I want to complete a readathon. Pretty simple, pretty plain. I love participating in readathons. I have participated in a lot of readathons last year. I plan on participating in a lot more this year, but I don't know if I've ever actually finished, like truly finished a readathon. I've gotten really close. I think maybe I have in the past, like 1, but I always seem to take on more than I can handle, and I get really ambitious, and then it just like, it like falls off, and I kind of am not able to complete it. So my goal this year is just 1. If I can complete 1 readathon, like I'm not gonna be like every readathon I take part in I'm gonna complete, because I know that's just not realistic. But if I can complete 1, just 1, I will be so happy and so proud of myself, and I will feel so fulfilled, and this goal will be complete. So I don't know which readathon it is I'm going to do. I'm not even going to say like I want to complete this specific readathon. We'll just see what happens throughout the year, but my goal is to complete at least 1 of them. Of course, if I do that, I'm going to try and continue to complete more. Like the goal is to complete all of them, right? It's not like, I don't know, but I will be happy and like okay with myself if I can complete at least 1. So yes. And my final goal, you guys. So this one is a bit particular, and there will be another video coming explaining this. So I'll post it up in the cards if I have posted already. I don't know. I think I'm posting this video first though. So I will try to remember to come back and link it once it's posted. And that is this challenge I'm doing for myself that I actually thought of back in 2020. So when I first started my channel, I had posted about it and it never went anywhere. And that's something I'm calling my ancestry, how did I phrase it? Ancestry reading challenge or something like that. So basically what my idea was, I was inspired by Kayla from Books and Lala. I saw that she in the past had did like Ancestry DNA, and she read certain books based off of her ancestry. Now the way I'm doing it is a little bit different than how she's doing it, but I took the initial idea from her. So of course I gotta give credit where credit is due, right? We gotta give the credit. So basically what I am doing, and like I said, I'll do another video explaining this, is I'm looking at my ancestry DNA and I'm finding out what countries that my ancestors are from. So for example, I know that I have some Norwegian in me. And basically I am going to be doing the thing where I'm like, okay, I'm reading a classic from that country. I'm reading a childhood favorite from that country. I want to read a nonfiction about the country or about someone from the country, and just like a popular modern day fiction book from the country, just to kind of get an idea of like the life there, just learn about that country through the country's literature, if that makes sense. So that's kind of like my goal, and I'm going to be doing this bi-monthly. So what this means is every 2 months I will be doing 1 country. So I'm going to be starting this in February because it's already January 23rd, it's the 24th today. So it's kind of late. It's kind of late to January. So it'll be February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January will be the months. And so every 2 months will be 1 country. I do have quite a few. I mean, I'm like 90, I do know that I'm 99 or something like that % European, which I mean, is kind of obvious if you look at me. I'm very pale, but I do have a lot of smaller countries within Europe that I come from, my ancestors come from. So I'm really excited to do this. But my goal is, like I said, to do it, to just keep up with it bi-monthly, be able to complete this goal of mine and read from my ancestral home. I don't know, sounds weird, but I hope this makes sense. Again, I'm going to be doing another video really diving deep into this, explaining it, showing what countries I come from, and kind of my thought process of what I'm doing. But that's the basic gist. I just want to do it because I've been wanting to do this for 3 years now and just haven't. So my goal is to stick with it. And that's that. Okay, guys, those are my 10 goals for 2023. I really hope I can stick with them. Who knows what 2023 is going to bring, but I'm trying to be positive and I'm trying to put my best foot forward with these goals. My word for the year is faithful. I know that God is faithful to me to complete a good work in me, and I want to be faithful to him, and I want to be faithful to myself. And so that means being faithful to my channel and different things. So faithful is my word for the year. And, you know, if I don't complete these goals, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Let me know what your goals are, what you think of my goals, if you have similar ones. And like I said, if you want to do a buddy read, hit me up. I would love to do a buddy read with you. Yeah, I guess that's all I got to talk about. It's been a little bit since I've been in front of a camera. I've been dealing with a lot of crazy over the past 3 months. But going forward from here on out, I'm hoping that things are looking up. So, yay! Sorry guys, I know I'm being really awkward. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like if you haven't, or subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate it. I'm growing a little bit slowly, but I'm growing. I'm really, really happy for that. So thank you all. If you've made it to the end of this video, let's put a snowflake emoji because it's still winter and it's still cold. So yeah, let's do that. And I guess I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.